Alrighty, it's your boy Zxous, and we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. And in today's video, we're going to be ranking NOIR on the Burst 3 tier list. But before we begin, make sure you guys subscribe and like. Thank you guys for 3,000 subscribers. We are 3 for 3. We have gained 1,000 subscribers every month since I've came back to YouTube, which is just a blessing and it's amazing. And it's just insane, right? You guys have been showing so much support, not even just subbing, like you guys watch the videos and stuff like that. And obviously when it comes to uploading 3 times a day, it does get a bit hectic. So I'm glad that it's like not going to waste or anything like that. It's paying off and all that stuff. So thank you guys for 3K. I guess we're on the road to 4K by the end of next month. So I guess we could try that, but we can, let's go ahead into the the Burst 3 tier list for NOIR. So obviously I've done my testing with NOIR, and like I said in the Blanc one, we're not going to consider how good she is with Blanc. We could say like how good they are, but I'm not gonna put her in a tier and say she's this tier when she's with Blanc and without Blanc. I know her kit does say you have to have another character on the team from the same squad, and you could say it's a part of her kit, so it should be fine. I guess technically I could count that actually, right? They're like just if I go overall, like the entire kit. But let's just look at it. So when her HP is above 70%, all allies get attack increased by 14.08%, right? Which is very nice. It's just an attack buff for free, right? Her second skill activates when entering a full burst and affects all allies, right? Increases the max ammo capacity by 5 rounds for 10 seconds, and then also reloads about 40% mags, right? Basically just reloads the bullet, like 40% of the bullets lost, right? Instead of having to like actually sit there and reload, it just gets put back in there basically. Yeah. And then her burst skill is a 40-second burst skill that is an AoE, deals 351.64% of attack as damage, and then actually affects all allies with a shotgun, so only shotgun users. Increase their hit rate by 14% basically for 10 seconds, and damage interruption part go up by 23.23% for 10 seconds. It's very nice for shotguns, right? And then the second part is when the full burst ends. Oh, is it ends? When a full burst ends with an ally from the same squad on the battlefield, affects all allies hit rate. Hit rate increased by 11.61% for 30 seconds, and damage interruption part increased by 19.36% for 30 seconds. Wow, so it's after a full burst. I thought it was during the full burst. Now, if you think about this, this is good or bad, depending on how you look at it. Because it would be 10 times better if obviously shotgun allies got that buff while they had the first part, right? So they would have the 23.23% for 10 seconds plus the 19.36% for damage interruption parts for 30 seconds if it was added together, like it's stacked. But if it's after the full burst, that's pretty good, because that means when you do have Blanc on the team, all allies, including shotguns, guaranteed have their hit rate and damage interruption part increase for 30 seconds. That's very good, actually. That's quite good, right? So obviously this character is really meant for Gravedigger, which is the I did a showcase on her with Gravedigger, her and Blanc. If you guys want to check that out, it's the video before this one. It is very that's like, okay, like I said, it's good or bad, because maybe you would want the shotgun characters to have those effects while they have the first effect, right? It's not that much of a difference, but technically it's just better because it lasts for 30 seconds, right? Basically meaning shotgun characters guaranteed have their hit rate or damage interruption part increase the entire time from when she uses her full burst. From the moment she uses her full burst until the end of the game, they guaranteed have hit rate active, right? Because if it's after the full burst, then for the first 10 seconds of the 40 seconds, you're gonna have the first part where only allies get that part. After that, for 30 seconds, which is going to be the remaining 30 seconds you have in order to use her burst skill again. You're still gonna have hit rate and damage interruption part, so you're literally just going to be stacking. Now the only thing is, if you use it with something like Modernia, then you're kind of just losing out on seconds, obviously, because your seconds got increased more, right, rather than it being just the regular 10 seconds and the regular rotation. You kind of have to wait longer because it's 5 seconds. But yeah, basically, if you don't have like someone who's increasing the burst skill by an extra 5 or lowering it, I don't think lowering it matters, but if you don't have anybody increasing it by 5, then somebody or shotgun characters always have hit rate and interruption part, and it's pretty good still, right? It just goes from 13.93 to 11.61. That's not that bad of a difference, right? Maybe the damage interruption part goes down by a bit much. I think maybe it should just went down to like 21%. Maybe that's a reach, but I don't know. Not to mention, like I said, she does increase the ammo capacity and reload the bullets too, so it's a very, very good character overall. I would say if I had to rank her, now here's my thing, because like I said, we're going to include this part since it's a part of her kit. Now let's talk about her pros and let's talk about her cons. For me, her biggest con essentially is that you need to have another character on the team for this to work, and it goes same way for Blanc, right? It goes same way for Blanc, but the problem is for Blanc, it's essentially different because Blanc is her burst skill just needs to have NOIR, and like it just lowers the burst skill. That's nothing crazy, right? That's just, you just have her on the team, you lower it, right? And then obviously NOIR herself has pretty good skills overall. The problem with NOIR though is that Blanc isn't a shotgun user, so Blanc doesn't get that part, that first part there. She doesn't get any use from it, right? Which is not really all that of a problem, but I think it would be better if a full shotgun team could have this, right? But obviously you cannot run a full shotgun team to get this full kit because Blanc doesn't have an AR or a shotgun. Now the thing is, there's no question that Blanc benefits way more from having NOIR than NOIR has being benefited from Blanc. So that's a kind of a pro there, I want to say, on NOIR's part, because I feel like if you have Blanc, you must have NOIR. It's just so stupid not to, in my honest opinion, because to take a burst skill like that for Blanc from 60 to 20 seconds, making it a spammable burst skill is very, very nasty, right? And the only way to do that is to have NOIR. You kind of are just looking so stupid to use Blanc and not have NOIR, right? Now, if you don't only have Blanc and you don't have NOIR, I don't mean no disrespect, of course. I'm just saying, like, it's just kind of silly, right? Because that's the biggest, like, that has to be the biggest game-changing thing. That's crazier than anything that Scarlet is doing, right? In terms of, if you're looking at an overall kit, to take it from 60 seconds, that burst skill is one of the best burst skills in the game. To take it from 60 seconds to 20 seconds, making it spammable is nasty. Now for NOIR, you don't need to have Blanc, right? Having Blanc is nice, but you don't need to have Blanc, right? Because if you're not fighting enemies with damage, to interruption parts, my god, if you're not fighting a boss really with interruption parts, then that second part right there doesn't matter, right? Interruption part are the circles that have the yellow lines inside and you have to keep shooting it until it blows up. What Chatterbox has, what the train has in the second phase, what Blacksmith or Gravedigger has it all those times, those red circles, right? So if you're not fighting a boss with that, it's useless at that point. The hit rate is always going to be good because, again, shotguns need to aim. They need to have their bullets connect. Same as ARs, right? So she does somewhat benefit from that, of course. But the interruption part is insane against bosses. This character, NOIR, is really meant for Gravedigger. And because of that, I'm actually going to give her... I think I'm honestly going to give NOIR the high A tier, right? Because overall... she's gonna be okay, realistically, right? She's a pretty good overall, right? Her caster's attack, this part right here is very good, right? And if you do fall below 70%, again, Blanc has the heals, right? But I don't think NOIR and Blanc are on par. I don't think that not a close. I think Blanc is easily tiers or A tier above NOIR. But this part is good, right? The attack part is good. You have that. The increased ammo and mag is very good as well. The burst skill is very, very good as well. But the problem is that it only benefits shotgun characters, and it is really only useful against bosses, right? Who have the interruption part. Essentially, if you're not running shotgun characters, right? All you're getting from, if you're not fighting a boss and you're not running shotgun characters, all you're getting from this burst skill is the AoE damage and then this hit right here, if you have Blanc, right? If you have Blanc. If you do not have Blanc, all you're getting from this burst skill is the, or all the team is getting from this burst skill, let's say, is this AoE right here, right? But obviously she's a shotgun, so she gets all this part here, but she doesn't even get this part unless Blanc is on the team. So she gets all this part, but the damage, the interruption part's useless because, again, you're not fighting a boss. The hit rate's going to be good for her regardless. So herself guaranteed gets this 1000% anywhere she goes. She guaranteed has this on the burst skill. Now, when you're fighting a boss, a boss with interruption parts, she guaranteed has this. With Blanc, she guaranteed gets all of this. So it's kind of so much requirements to kind of like go about this character. And that's why I say she's a high A rather than saying she's an S tier, because it's just so much you have to kind of do with this girl, where yes, in terms of Blanc, you do just need to have Noir as well, but you don't as well, right? It is 60 seconds. You could always work around that by putting a 20-second burst skill, a burst 2 character on the team. There's nothing wrong with having Senti and Blanc. I showed you guys that video. It works wonders. There's nothing wrong with having Senti and Blanc, 2 characters who are very broken. But to have Noir on that team is very, very broken as well. So I will say Noir is an A tier character. High A, you can have her in low S if you want, but I don't think I'll put her in high S. You could have her in low S, but I think I'm going to put her in high A just because there's so much you have to do with her. Like this, like I said, this part is very good. But then again, you need to have a healer, because if you fall below, you're not getting that, which is not a problem. This is really that you're like getting consistently. This is the only thing that you have consistently, right? And the damage, like the AoE damage. Those are the only 2 things you have consistently. So I'm going to give her the A tier. Definitely let me know what you guys think about my tier here. Maybe, like I said, I don't have a problem putting her in the S tier, low S, but I think high A is where I'm going to put her, just because of how much you kind of need. Not need Blanc, like kind of just need Blanc for her to be so much useful in a general sense, right? Because again, she really just shines with shotguns without Blanc, and then again, if you're not fighting bosses, it's just the hit rate, so it's not really all that crazy if you think about it. But the hit rates look good. But yeah, it's your boy Zxous. Definitely let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Later. Peace.